Hello. Hi, everybody. I'm back. I know it's been a while since I made a video, but I've been meaning to make this video for months now, and I figured it was finally time to do it. I pray everyone is doing well. My name is Sarah Ward, formerly Sarah Willis, because I recently, last year, got married to the love of my life. Yay! And that's what this video is about my journey to obtaining that and experiencing that, and how that happened. So today is going to be about key number 3, feminine and masculine energies relating to Eros, love, romantic love. All right, it's about attracting the love of your life. Maybe I'll title it that. Attracting the love of your life. Yes. So now we're going to be talking about polarity. That's where we begin on this journey of attracting the love of your life, is learning about the law of polarity. All magnets have north and south poles. Opposite poles are attracted to each other, while the same poles repel each other. I'm going to read that again. All magnets have north and south poles. Opposite poles are attracted to each other, while the same poles repel each other. All right, next one. The law of polarity is the principle that everything has two poles, good and evil, love and hate, attraction and disconnection. Think of the north and south poles on a globe or on a battery with its negative and positive terminals. Everything in the universe has its opposite. Oh yeah, 1, 2 down. Okay. The law of, oh dear. Stay there, paper. Okay. Oh. Okay. Back to the video. Oh, I missed you guys. I'm glad to be back. Okay, I'm a dork. Okay. Law of magnetism is that like poles repel one another, and unlike poles attract each other. I'm going to read that again. Law of magnetism is that like poles, so similar poles, repel one another, while unlike poles attract one another. I think you're catching on to what I'm trying to say. Opposites attract. Whichever polarity you are lacking, you will naturally attract and be drawn to. So whichever polarity you are lacking or weaker in, you will naturally attract and be drawn to the opposite polarity, the polarity that is non-dominant within you. So if you're alpha, you're attracted to omega, and vice versa. If that makes any sense. Hopefully we'll figure it out at the end of this video. I don't want to confuse you. This is how I ended up with the love of my life. How I became a match to him, and how I attracted him with me into my life. So we all have access to both our masculine and feminine polarities, or alpha and omega polarities. That's another words for the same thing, or yin and yang polarities. We all have access to it, but we have one of these polarities that is dominant. So those of you watching my videos, you are all omega, or yin, or feminine dominant, and we'll talk more about that later, what exactly that means. But you out there watching, you're an omega dominant like me. And we all have access to both, but we have one or the other that we're drawn to. And the people that watch my videos, whether they be female or male, are Omega dominant people. All right. So yeah, every human being is either masculine or feminine dominant. So I said alpha, masculine, yang. This is the self-preservation or the self-defense principle. And the focus or the priority for that type of person is the self. And then we have the omega, or the feminine, or the yin, and they're ruled by the non-aggression or nurturing principle. And their focus or priority is on everyone, everyone else, others, other people. Okay, so one type of person is focused on themselves, another type of person is focused on others. And my husband, the love of my life, my soulmate, Charles, is Omega. He's focused on other people, just like I used to be. I still am, but yeah, we'll talk more about that as we go on. So yeah, the feminine, yin or omega, is other focus, relationships and connections. Non-aggression or nurturing principle, do no harm. So the feminine is ruled by the do no harm principle because they're focused on other people. Learning about this law of nature helped me attract my love of my life. Then we have masculine, alpha or yang, like we just said, are self-focused on themselves and particularly things, not people. They're also focused on themselves, but things like inanimate I can't talk, like objects, like motorcycles or stuff like that in the physical world. And yeah, they're ruled by the self-defense or self-preservation principle, and they take no shit. This polarity takes no shit. No. Anyway, let's move on. All right, so I don't know if you guys watch like relationship videos. I do sometimes, and I forget who it was, but I'm sure it's like a common theme in a lot of videos. They're talking about, there's always one that's the adorer, the one that does the adoring, and one that is the adored. Well, the one that is the adored, the one that the focus is on the yang partner or the alpha partner, whether they be female or male. And the adorer is the omega, the feminine, the one that can see the other people, the one that's focused on others. So I thought it was fascinating. That's what they're talking about. They're talking about the polarities. There's always an adorer and an adored. If you look at the letter A for alpha, the first letter in the word alpha is A. Notice how the point goes back to the self, if that makes any sense. And then we have the O in omega. The O in omega, so it's everything else but like not the self. All right, okay, and this law of polarity, this attraction, what I'm trying to say is when you get balanced in your own innate alpha and masculine energies, whatever you want to say, you could now become a match to other omega or get feminine people because you're opposites now. And this is what I'm trying to tell you on this video, is the difference between falling in love and walking in love. Walking in love is a conscious act, whereas when you fall in love, and that's kind of the law of polarity, when I fell in love, it's because of the poles. The poles are attracting each other, opposites attract. And when you fall in love, really, you're You're just naturally attracted to the opposite, the one that you are weaker in. But when you have it in yourself, you can choose, consciously choose, to pick a better partner, an omega or feminine dominant partner, because they can see you and you can walk in love. I always think that the phrase fall in love is kind of like, you know, what happens when we fall? We often hurt ourselves, don't we? It kind of infers injury. So it's a different, what I'm trying to tell you on this video is consciously loving, or loving with your consciousness, and your being equally yoked in your own innate polarities, the alpha and the omega in yourself. That was a big journey with my plant spirit medicine. That's really what led me to heal, is becoming more balanced or stronger in my weaker polarity. So now we're going to talk about ways in strengthening your weaker polarity, your alpha polarity, or your masculine polarity, or your yang polarity, so you could attract the love of your life. And one way that I think is really excellent is communing with plant spirit medicine. So we have San Pedro, which is the grandfather, or has a masculine presence. Then we have ayahuasca, which is the grandmother, has a more of a feminine presence. And then peyote is also known as a grandfather. And I was researching psilocybin mushroom. Apparently that presence, or that spirit of that plant, is feminine. And ibogaine, which is masculine and feminine. But I say at the end, not cannabis though. When I say plant spirit medicine, cannabis is a great plant spirit or cannabis is a really great plant medicine, or it is a spirit medicine. It's the granddaughter. Cannabis is the granddaughter plant, and she gives you what you want. But these other medicines here at the top of the list, or at the main list, those give you what you need. There's a big difference in what you want versus what you need. So yeah, I would recommend communing with one of these medicines. I always recommend San Pedro or Wachuma, because it's a lot more gentler, and you can do it without a shaman. You can do it all by yourself. And these medicines are entheogens. And we're going to break down the word of entheogen. So we got in, which means within, or innate, or inside, and theo meaning God. And jin, which means that which produces, begins, or starts. Yeah. So these plant spirit medicines, yeah, start the God within, and you can begin to being connected to God. Basically is what I'm trying to say. And when you're connected to God, it helps, that force balances your own energies, and oftentimes will help you increase your weaker or non-dominant polarity. In our cases, it's the alpha. We're weaker in the alpha polarity. So it helps you get connected with God to balance your energies for you. I think that would be such an excellent intention for a ceremony with plant spirit medicine, is to become balanced or equally yoked in my alpha energies. I think that would be such a great intention for a ceremony. But I recommend doing that, the medicine, and also what I'm going to say next, because I know a lot of people, they say, you know, I can't get to the medicine, or is there anything I can do in the meantime? So here's some practical tips for you. So the first thing I would tell you out the gate is stop seeking approval or validation from others. If you want to get stronger in your alpha or masculine energy, stop looking for other people's for their approval. Stop seeking validation. So just cut that off. Okay? And next, I would start I would start discerning the dominant polarities in people around you. It was really, on my journey, there was a time where Spirit was leading me to discern the dominant polarities in other people around me. And I'm going to make a video about this, so check out that video that I'm going to be doing next. It's going to be all about the polarities and how to tell if someone is dominant in one or the other, and just interesting things so you can get that'll help you attract the love of your life. So you could know if you're with an Omega person. So check out that video. Yay. Third thing I would say, practical tip, is to focus on yourself. Because remember, the alpha, what's their focus is on themselves. So start doing that. It's kind of like doing push-ups. Just start focusing on yourself. Visualize yourself. Prioritize your own well-being and spiritual development. Concentrate on your dreams, goals, principles, values, and passions. I'm going to say that again. So tip number 3 is focus on yourself, on your own feelings, on your own spirit, your own well-being, and your own spiritual development. Concentrate on your goals, dreams, principles, values, etc. So focus on yourself. That'll strengthen the weaker or the non-dominant polarities, just focusing on yourself. And then we have the greatest commandment. Here's something you can do to strengthen your alpha polarities. The greatest commandment. You might be thinking, what is that, Sarah? Well, I will tell you, viewer. The greatest commandment. Okay, this will help balance your energies. So in Matthew 22, verse 36 through 40, the most important command. When the Pharisees heard how he had bested the Sadducees, they gathered their forces for an assault. One of their religious scholars spoke to them, posing a question they hoped would show him up. Teacher, which command in God's law is the most important? Jesus said, love the Lord your God with all your passion and prayer and intelligence. This is the most important and the first on my list. But there's a second set alongside it. Love others as well as you love yourself. These two commands are pegs, and everything in God's law and the prophets hang upon them. And when this part, love your neighbor as yourself, they're basically saying love the alpha and the omega. Your neighbor is the omega, the alpha is yourself. You love everybody, but it begins with love for God. In the King James Version, it says, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all your heart, all your soul, and with all thy mind. And when you love God with all your strength, all your mind, all your soul, all your everything you have, that's another way that your polarities will balance. When you follow God's ways, and really look to Him, defer to Him for your direction and purpose in life. When you really love God with all your mind, soul, and body and strength, you'll become more stronger in your alpha polarity that you have within yourself. I think that's all I have to say. So yeah, just like when a man and a woman join together, a new creation is born. A whole new life is brought out into the world when we consciously and are divinely supported to join or yoke together our own inner masculine and feminine polarities. And when you do, you can attract an omega partner. And omegas are just better partners because they're focused on what? On other people. So when when you're in a relationship with them, they're going to actually see you instead of the alpha seeing themselves. It's such a, that's Charles and I, our union in nutshells. He actually sees me and he focuses on me, and that's really what makes him my soulmate, is because he can focus on me and I focus on him. Even though I'm yoked in my alpha energies, I still was born as an omega. So I'm also focused on him. So it's a relationship that is so giving and such, the best experience of my life. I really have attracted the love of my life, and I really want that for you too. This channel is to help you create a life worth living. And most of us, not all, but most of us do want to experience a love of our life, a romantic partner, Eros love with our soulmate. So I pray this video blesses you in that endeavor. If you have any questions, I know it might be kind of confusing, definitely write them down below, or you can always send me an email. I put my email in the description box for this video. It's great to be back. I'm glad to be with you guys today. I pray you all are, there's a fly in here. I pray you all are doing well. Until next time, bye bye. Look out for my next video about the polarities if you're interested. Bye bye.